everyone. This is Saju, and very welcome to my podcast, Quest for Peace. And today I have a very good friend of mine in my studio. Her name is Christine Jackson. And Christine is a healing art medical massage and MFR Center of McAllen. She owns that place. She's a medical massage therapist,
Practitioner, yes.
practitioner, and now she has started something called the MFR, and she's
Yeah.
certified practitioner with MFR. We're going to learn all about what that is. And believe me, I have worked with her and she's used this method on me and amazing results. So thank you very much
Thank
for
you
being
for having
here.
me. I'm excited to share
Great.
this information.
Awesome. So
So,
MFR, what does it mean? I don't think a lot of people know what it means. Could you explain that?
Absolutely. So MFR is myofascial release. And what I studied was the John Barnes approach. And it is incredible. I was certified in myofascial release back in the 90s, but it's nothing like this, like John Barnes approach. It is life altering. When I started with Saju, we started with just doing medical massage. And then we decided to implement the MFR. And well, I'll let you tell. I'll let her tell
Well,
you how it is.
okay. Well, I started with Christine because I had an injury on my shoulder through working out. And I had a tear and I did not know where to go. And I was recommended by my chiropractor to come and see Christine. And we started with medical massage, trying to get it to heal the best. And as she tells me, it takes a while. So then she went, she said, I'm going to be gone for a little while. And I said, where are you going? I need you. But it was good. She went to get a certification and she said, I'm going to get a new certification. And she came back so excited about this new method that she had learned. And she was telling me it also helps emotions that are stuck.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting because I'm all about releasing emotions. You guys, what's going on inside of us.
Absolutely.
How do we, come out of all of this and how do we clean ourselves and get rid of our emotions so we can live a much more beautiful and energetic life. So when she told me that, I was very excited. I said, absolutely, let's start with that method. So please give us a little bit more.
Absolutely.
What is, because I try to explain it to people and I'm saying,
I know it's
something, but it's awesome.
it's pretty, it can get pretty deep. So basically, fascia is a connective tissue in our body, and it runs from the tip of our head to the tip of our toes, and it's three-dimensional. So imagine a spider web in your body, and it connects to everything. It connects to your skin, your blood vessels, your organs, your nerves. I mean, everything in your body is connected through fascia. And what happens over time from the moment we're born is even being born creates fascia restriction and trauma to the body. So as we move on through life and we have injuries and we have emotional issues and trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma, all of these things cause fascia restriction in the body. And here's a really interesting part. Fascia constriction puts 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch in the body. Just imagine that for a moment.
That's crazy.
And then you think about all these years, as we age and how, we hit a certain age and everybody starts, I get up in the morning, my feet hurt, my back hurts, everything hurts. A lot of the times because you have fascia restriction and nobody talks about it. And and it's not something that's treated and it's not something that can show up on a test. So I had been wanting to learn John Barnes' approach for many years, but financially I just couldn't afford to. And thank God now I was able to. And let me tell you, it has just changed my life. And I know it's changed a lot of the lives of my clients. And it's just fills my heart to be able to be in a place and time right now where I can bring this therapy to McAllen, to the Valley, to share it and to help change people's lives. And and I'm very grateful for Saju for having me today to talk about this and to get the word out because we're really trying to educate people that there are other ways to deal with all the pain that everybody suffers. And so what happens is there are so many wonderful therapies out there. There's chiropractic, there's physical therapy, there's massage therapy. I mean, the list goes on and they are all wonderful and they all have their place. But what I have learned and experienced myself is that massage is great for relaxing the muscles. But the problem is, if the fascia is not addressed, you're going to continue having that pain. And the massages only last temporary. So it's a temporary fix, whereas fascia is a long lasting effect. And not only that, but 9 times out of 10, where you have your pain, that's not the cause of your injury. So, what's really neat about myofascial release is that there are certain things that you can do, like, say, if you're doing a leg pull, all of a sudden you feel something in your shoulder, or maybe something in your head, or the tip of your finger, or something, in your lower back. And all those little things that you're feeling, whether they be like burning, whether they be tingling or an ache, all is pointing you to the areas in where the restriction is. So it's like a map. So now you go and you work those areas. And it just slowly, it's a very gentle
It is.
pressure and stretch. And it's very relaxing. And most people fall asleep. And it just loosens the body so that you have mobility and movement.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I remember you telling me when I was with you because my right shoulder hurts, but then my legs started hurting and my hips started hurting. And I told you about it. And you said, okay, let's work. There's something going on in your hip. That's why your shoulder's working. I go, what? And if you go for a massage or anything, you tell them your back hurts, that's where they will work on.
Right.
But they
Right.
don't look at, okay, where is this coming from? And that's what I felt. It was so interesting. And yesterday I was with you and she was massaging my neck because not massaging, doing the myofascia release on my neck and all the shoulders. And I fell asleep. I was
Yeah.
literally
Out.
snoring.
He was out.
So it was, and every time I visit you, I have to go home and go to sleep because it's relaxed me so much that I just need to rest.
And that's so important that you bring that up
Okay.
because when you have an MFR treatment, it's really important to be gentle with yourself. Go home and relax because there's so much that goes on besides just the physical. As we were talking about earlier, it's mind, body, spirit,
Mm.
literally. And we trap our emotions in our tissues. So, the easiest way to explain that would be, and this is just an explanation. Say you were in an automobile accident like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and you had a specific injury to a certain area. And now we start working the fascia and getting in there. It's not uncommon to all of a sudden almost like have a flashback and be right back in that emotion again as we're working that area and feeling all of that, stirring all of that up. And what we always try to tell everybody is when you come in for this treatment, have an open mind. Let your body do whatever it wants. If your arm wants to go off the table, your leg wants to go off the table, whatever it is, whatever emotion comes up, whether it's anger, whether it's crying, whether it's screaming, let it out because that is part of the process. And when we can release those emotions, your body heals even more.
Wow. From what I'm understanding, this is your muscle and you've heard it. So now the fascia has come around it and it's tightened it. And
Right.
why does it do that? Is it trying to protect the muscle?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So now it's there and it's tight and you're trying to heal this muscle, but you can't
Yes.
because the fascia is in the way.
Right.
So you have to release the fascia so the muscle can
Can move
move
freely
around
again.
and it can do.
Yeah.
And I know with my injury, my biceps were always tight. And
Yeah.
right now they're not anymore because
Yeah.
of all the work. They were so tight that every time I did a curl or something, I could feel that restriction in my bicep.
Hmm.
And now it's gone.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's and you know, we talk about on this show about peace. How do we get peace in our life? And this is again a big part of releasing emotions, allowing your body to relax. How are you going to get peace if you have so much fascia all over you holding you tight
Yes.
that you and how many pounds did you say?
2,000
2,000 pounds every
per
square
square inch.
inch.
Mhm.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
So in able to be able to relax in your life, to deal with everything that comes towards you because life is always, you know, challenges. How are you going to be able to be neutral when the challenges come when you're already so tight and so
Exactly.
wound up and so many things going on in your body? You need to get that released, and only massage won't do it. Yes, speaking therapy is good to talk to someone,
Mhm.
but this is an yet another way to release emotions from your body. And I know you're going to go on and learn more and you're going to have more certifications. I'm excited
Yep.
because every time you learn, I get the benefits and everyone else.
It's all synergistic. We all work together
Yes,
for the greater
greater good.
of us all.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell me something. You're talking about emotions being released.
Yes.
The time that you have been working on this with other people, with
Mhm.
other subjects, have you seen a release
I
of
have.
emotions?
Yes.
And is there
Yes.
something you can share? Is it
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, well, let's just start with this. Most people that get massages know that it's a very emotional aspect too, because people who get massages on a regular basis or who are going through a lot emotionally, it's not uncommon when you get on a table for that to come out because you're in a safe space. And if you have a connection with your therapist, then you know that they have you 100%. And with MFR, they train us how to manage these emotional points that may come up. And we just encourage everyone to just let go and let it out because they're in a safe space and we're here for you. And I had a client who, kid you not, within 2 minutes of getting on my table, just started bawling. I hadn't even started working on her yet. But what John Barnes talks about is we live in the fifth, we live in channel 5, the chaos, the everything, the control, the everything that's going on around us. When you're healing, when you're meditating, you're in channel 3. So this work is so much deeper than just the physical act of doing the technique, that when you start, you are automatically connecting with with the subconscious of the person who is on the table. And I can tell you two separate instances. So they know, your intuition, your psyche knows when you're in a safe place. And some people, that's the only place where they can come and be who they really are and who they really want to be and who can actually let out their emotions without being judged. It's a safe space. So I've had people come in and just bawl, and I just sit there with them and I just encourage them to let it out and let them know that it's okay. There's nothing they need to worry about. There's no judgment. It's a safe space. I have another client who her intuition, I hadn't even explained all the stuff about MFR and how it reacts with your body and your emotions. And her intuition tapped into it before she even came in. And
Wow.
she says, I don't know why, but before I come in with for my appointment with you, I declutter my house
Oh,
so that when I come home, because I'm so at peace, I just want to be in a quiet and clean space. So it was really
amazing.
interesting how your intuition can pick up on stuff before we even are aware of it. So that's pretty neat.
That's amazing. It's when you talk about being open and you have your therapist there and you be yourself, it's like going to talking to a bartender or talking to a
Yeah.
hairdresser.
It sure
Right?
is. Yeah.
And then you're with the therapist and then you feel,
Yeah.
you're just talking about life. And I have great conversations with my hairdresser and, and, and now with you,
Yeah.
and you know that everything is going to be just between the two and it's not going to
Right.
go anywhere. And
Absolutely.
it's an absolute must, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's amazing. And how many people have you worked on? A lot?
Well, let me just so I came back from my training. It's the most intense training I've ever taken. It was 2 weeks. And I'm and this is there are multiple courses that he offers, and I am going to take as many as I possibly can. I'm gonna take another one in November. Wasn't planning on it, but it just popped up and I was like, "Nope, I'm being told I need to go to this,"
Yeah.
and so I'm doing it.
Well, the world
Uh,
needs it right now.
it
Those are the
does.
important things.
It
We
does.
need to do
We
it,
are in
right?
a very tumultuous time with
Yes.
so much emotion happening, and so many people don't know how to handle it.
Yes.
And, this is one place where you can be safe.
Yes.
But anyway,
Mhm.
the when I came back, of course, most of my clients have been with me for a long time, and they trust me fully. And they know that when they invest in me, they're investing in themselves. And it goes full circle. So they love it when I go to training and
I do.
they are like, I need to get on your list, your schedule before you even leave, because I want to have some of this when you get back. I got to try it. So I think since I've been back, which was in,
When
oh,
did you get back? I forgot.
let's
It's
see.
been a couple of months, no?
Yeah, it's been a couple months. I think I may have done maybe 3 massages. Everybody has been MFR.
Hmm. Well, when you get MFR, you don't want to go back to
You
massage. Trust
don't.
me, when
You
I tell her
don't.
I don't want to do massage, just MFR. That's
I
it.
I called home the first day of my training.
Uh-huh.
Within the first hour of my first course, I just was sitting there with I was sitting there with my mouth open, like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this." And I thought at that moment, I said, "I want to just take all the tools that I have learned over these 30 years, stick them into my toolbox, slam the lid, and put it up on the shelf because that's how mind blowing this therapy is." And when you know that you have a modality that can actually address the cause of the symptom instead of just treating the symptom, it's hard for me to do a different kind of therapy. Massage is still wonderful
Yes.
and we all still need it. So I don't want you to think that massage is not good because it is
It's amazing.
fantastic.
It is amazing.
But myofascial release is just a whole other level.
Exactly. Well, Christian, one thing I love, not like love about you is you're very intuitive. And I know when I come to see you and before I could tell you this shoulder's hurting. Said, yep, I can see it. Huh? Yep. And you're already there. You already know. And so you're very connected. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
I find that awesome. I don't have to say anything. I just come and stand in front of you and say, okay, we'll work on this. We'll work on this. And go figure.
And a- and when it's been a challenge for me too as a therapist because for 30 years we've been taught a certain way and a certain pressure and a certain way, to do things. And this is the complete opposite of it. So it's really been a challenge for me to figure out how to reuse my body in a completely different manner. And they say it takes most of us therapists almost a year to for our bodies not to hurt because we're still trying to figure out, what positions to be in to do
Mm,
this therapy because it's it's a process. And sometimes you just have to sit in a spot and hang out for 10 minutes, 20 minutes until you get a release. So it can be taxing on the body if you don't know how to use it.
right. I
As
mean, it reminds me of, I told you last time, it reminds me of yin yoga. And I
uh
don't know if many people know about yin yoga. And that's, you hold a certain position and it seems very easy, but when you've held it for so long in that same position, and I think you're supposed to hold it for 5 minutes, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. I usually love doing that because I like that. I can feel those releases happening, in that 5 minutes. And it's the same way the way you worked with me is when you're holding on for that long, you actually tell me yourself, oh, there's one. Oh,
Yep.
there's another. And I'm going, really?
Yeah.
But you're more connected and you told me that you can actually feel it. You're so very
Yes.
hands-on and so,
Yeah.
intuitive that you can feel things shifting in the body.
It literally feels when you have a release, it literally feels like butter
Mm,
just melting underneath the surface. But of course, yeah, you have to know what you're feeling, and
exactly.
and that's why we usually recommend just complete silence
Mm,
when you're doing MFR because we really want you to quiet your mind, go into your heart, and just be and pay attention to your body
mm,
and what's happening in your body. Because we also want to know, you know, where you're feeling things so that we can address those issues too. But the big difference that's tough for a lot of people that have been therapists for many years is that as massage therapists, we're taught it's all about the outcome.
mm,
And you always ask your client afterwards, how are you feeling? But with MFR, we're taught don't ask you what you're feeling because there's so much happening that you're processing and you're in channel 3 when you're done. So you can't think. And even if you tell me right now how you're feeling, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours from now, you're still processing everything. So you don't know how you're feeling really until later.
mm.
And then I always encourage my clients if they want to talk about it, talk about it. If they want to talk about their experience, if they just want to go home, if they, have questions, of course, always are free to reach out to me and ask. So I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
It's it is. It is. And it's a very meditative, as you said, very meditative experience. And you don't have to say anything and you just rest. And
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I just love that.
It's
And I
very
know
gentle.
exactly. And I know, Christine, you're a very loving, caring human being. And I really appreciate that about
Thank
you
you.
because you really want to help
I do.
heal.
Yeah.
And that's why, we get along so well,
Yes.
right? I usually ask people, this is all about what you do, but I want to know a little bit more about you. We talk about peace and what we want to get in our life. How do you bring peace into your life?
Hmm.
What is your process of bringing that peace?
Wow. Coming here to infinite love. I mean, it's been a journey, really. Every day of our lives is an opportunity to figure out who we are, to reinvent ourselves, to figure out what we want out of life, what we don't want out of our lives, and, you know, create the lives that we want.
Mm.
And it's a journey. I mean, it's not, you don't just wake up one day. Well, sometimes. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, "Oh my gosh, today's the day." I, you know, get messages sometimes in meditation. I mean, I get visions. It's all about, first off, you have to be able to spend some quiet time alone to think about what it is that you want out of life, who you want to be, and how you can go about doing that. And then being very careful, being gentle with yourself, but also being careful about who you let into your circle, because this life is very sacred. And it just takes one person to stir that. And through meditation, you learn to control your emotions and what you allow to affect you and what you don't. So it has been a journey, and it's going to continue to be a journey until the day I'm not here, because you never stop learning. We're always striving for better life, for better peace for everybody. I mean,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely. So then how shall I put this? What does a peaceful world look like to you?
well, I live in a peaceful world as we speak. What happens out there, that's not my world.
Mm.
Some of you may not understand that, but let me just say, you actually can create the world that you want to be in the space that you want to be in, based on your thoughts and your emotions and your words. And although we, at a human level, right now, there's so much change happening
Oh yeah.
in this world, politically, universally, energy wise, and being able to maintain your peace right now is really important. And you really have to dig deep and step out of yourself sometimes. And I think all of us who are living in peace have people in our lives who mentor us or who we turn to for guidance. And I like to come to Infinite Love. This place has been wonderful for me. When I was in Arizona, I used to go to a place all the time, and it really helped me grow. And it was so sad when I came back to the valley, because I was like, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? Like, I miss all of my spiritual guidance. And then I found out about Infinite Love, and it's just kind of turned into a really neat thing. And I also have another person that is very near and dear to my heart, who teaches me a lot and who I turn to for my guidance, and that Kelly.
Kelly. Yes.
She's amazing.
Yes. Kelly was one of my guests as well. She's been on my podcast. She's an amazing woman.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
truly is. Yeah.
So,
Wonderful. So, how do people get in touch with you?
okay. So I have a Facebook page and an Instagram, and I'm on Google. So it's Healing Arts Medical Massage. And you can Google me or you can Google, Christine Jackson and Healing Arts, and I'll pop up and you can give me a call and we can have a conversation and go from there.
Sounds amazing. I really encourage all of you to really, really try this. I promise you, you're gonna love it. And I know once you've tried it, you're not gonna stop doing this. It's just another level of relaxation and relief and pain release. And if you're suffering through pain, really consider talking to Christine.
Yeah.
And she's the only, I believe, MFR practitioner, certified practitioner in McAllen.
There are some others, but they're on the therapy side,
Okay.
so that they don't have their own clinic.
Center.
But
Okay,
yeah,
so you have your own center,
yeah,
and it's easier for you for them to
yeah.
just come to you.
Mhm.
All right, thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank
It
you.
was so much fun. I had a
Yes.
great time.
Awesome.
So we will see you, and I'll see you again.
Yes.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.